So now that we've gone over all of the equipment basics, let's get to the fun part and take some photos. I have something set up in the studio that I've been working on, so let's hop over there and you can see my setup. So this is a pretty standard studio setup for me. Today I'll just be using one light, and we will be photographing the Swarovski bracelet that I've been working on. So give me a moment to get set up and then we'll get started. Now that we're all set up, we're ready to shoot. So I've chosen my background, I've set my lighting, and I have all of my props set off to the side at the ready. So I chose this lighting. This is probably my favorite piece of equipment. It is just a large softbox. And the reason why I chose this is because it's pretty similar to what you'll probably be using at home. Most people do have a window available to them to shoot. This is about the same shape as a window. It's a big rectangle, and it'll give you a nice, large, soft, even lighting that doesn't have a lot of harsh shadows on your subject. I chose, this is just a piece of white marble tile. It's got a nice little marble texture on it. I went for something light colored. When in doubt, go with lighter colors. You just want something that won't be too intense, that has a soft pattern, if a pattern at all, or a little bit of texture. You don't want anything that's going to overpower your subject and draw too much attention away from it. If you're not sure what colors you want, an off-white or white is typically a good place to start, particularly if you are sharing these on Instagram or posting on Etsy. Lighter colored images do tend to perform a little bit better on there historically. So here's our bracelet. It's looking pretty good, but I want to add a little bit more to the image. So since this is an amethyst inspired bracelet, I brought some amethyst from my own collection at home. It's nothing fancy. It's not anything that I specifically went out and bought for this. I have had some of these since I was in elementary school, so I just had these lying around. I'm a big fan of little rocks and gems and anything shiny. So I just want to kind of set these in the background to give just a little pop of color, add a little more interest to it. And I think that's looking pretty good already. So I'm envisioning the shot from this angle, so I'll just have these in the background so it'll be nice and soft. And I also want to elevate this a little bit, so I'm going to use these marble tile coasters that I have. I just want to stack them a little bit, just to give it a little more depth. And that'll elevate our bracelet and give it a nice angle so that I can really see all of these beads and charms and get all those sparkles in. So you just want to play with it, arrange it, take your time. This is the most important part. You want to make sure this looks good. And I'm pretty happy with that. I can see all of the charms. The two main charms look pretty good to me. I'm getting a nice amount of sparkle in them, and that's what's important. So I think we're ready to shoot. So let's go ahead and bring our camera in. Turn this on. Okay, and let's get our camera set up. First thing you want to do is frame your image. You want to make sure that it's at the right angle and you like the way that looks. If you don't like the way something looks through the viewfinder, go ahead and just give it a little adjustment. And there, I'm pretty happy with that. So what's more important to me here is the aperture and not the shutter speed. Since we are shooting a still object on a tabletop, it's not in motion, and I'm not as worried about capturing any motion. I'm more worried about the amount of depth of field in the image. So I want to blur these crystals out just a little bit, and I want to keep my bracelet here in focus. So I'm going to use a fairly large aperture. I'm going to go with 5.6. So let's go ahead and set that up here. Okay, so we're at 5.6. That will keep my jewelry in focus and give me a nice soft blur back here. So now I'm going to use my in-camera meter to set my shutter speed. And that should be at about a 15th of a second. So let's adjust that. Okay, so when I used my meter in my camera, I tried to choose a mid-tone in the image as opposed to picking up on all of these white values, because when your camera is giving its meter, it is trying to even out the tone of the image and adjust everything to a mid-tone value. So it's trying to make all of these white tones that should be highlights, it's trying to take those and turn them into mid-tones. So what I did was I found a little mid-tone in this crystal here, and that's what I sampled off of. And that gave me a pretty good value. I'm going to go ahead and leave my ISO where it's set. I always leave it set at 200, which is pretty much the minimum. Some cameras do go lower than that, but 200 is a good place to start. I don't want to go up too much because I don't want to increase the grain or the noise in the image, since I'm not too worried about freezing motion or anything. Since we're on a tripod, I can use a slower shutter speed. So that's where we're at. The last thing you want to check is your white balance. That will make sure, do you remember when we talked about different color sources being different color temperatures? That will make sure that everything is the correct color. Since these are studio lights and they are designed to be a daylight balance, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my camera is set to daylight balance, which it is, and now we're ready to start shooting. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in and focus up. I am going to focus right on this part of the jewelry since that's what's closest to the lens. And I feel like this little charm here is kind of one of the focus points of this image. So I'm just going to focus on that. Let's take an image and see how it looks. That looks pretty good so far. Now, when I framed up my shot, I did make a point of leaving a little bit of extra space. So I didn't crop in as tight as I could have. The reason behind that is you might want to leave yourself a little extra space to crop a little bit later on, because you might not be sure what image dimensions you would need. For example, a lot of people use a square image for Instagram. Maybe that's something that you want to consider. I believe Etsy uses a 4x5 image. So you just want to make sure that you have a little bit of wiggle room to crop and you're not cropping out any important elements if you do have to cut off the sides of your image or anything like that. So keeping that in mind, we are shooting loose. All right, so we just took one image and I think it looks pretty good, but I think that we can do a little bit more to fill in some of these shadows that I'm seeing here, since we have a very directional light coming from one direction. So that's where my reflector is going to come in. I'm going to use this because that bright silver one is my favorite. But you could also very easily use a piece of white poster board, foam board, or paper, whatever you have laying around. If you want to reproduce this silver effect and you don't have one of these handy reflectors at home, you can try a piece of aluminum foil. I've done that before and it works. So here I'm just going to play with it, adjust the angle until I really find the light that I want. So I'm looking at all of these shadows in here and on my jewelry to fill that in. And I'm also looking at all of these pieces on the jewelry, since we have so many sparkly faceted beads on here that will capture highlights. I want to make sure that I get as much sparkle as I can get in there. So let's come in here and play with that a little bit. And I think I like it right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and take another image. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. Okay, so we filled in those highlights. I'm pretty happy with that. zoom in, make sure everything is sharp, and it is. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm pretty happy with the way that that image came out, but I want to try something a little bit different. Since here at Cousin DIY, we like to use a lot of bright, bold colors. It's kind of our style. So I want to mix this up a little bit and take an image like that too. So I have this piece of scrapbook paper that I had set aside. And I can pick it up. And I thought that this purple tone would really pick up all of the tones in this bracelet nicely. So what I'm going to do is just keep this because I like the way that it looks on the coaster. So I'm just going to slide this underneath. Yeah, so this will give it a different effect. It's always a good idea to try a couple of different things when you're photographing something because you might have one image idea in your head and maybe it just doesn't look quite like you had imagined it. Try something else. You might end up liking that better. It's not uncommon for me to go through 2 or 3 different backgrounds or prop setups for something, and I very rarely end up at the first place that I started. So you never know what you're going to like. So I'm just going to zoom in here. Since our lighting is the same, I'm not going to worry about changing any of that up. But I do want to make sure that I have my purple filling the frame. Okay, I'm going to rearrange my bracelet slightly. I'm going to refocus. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's take another shot. Okay, and again, I'm still seeing a lot of shadows here since we are dealing with a very directional light, so I'm going to pop in my reflector. I'm going to find a good angle. Let's go with that. Beautiful. So that just serves as a nice secondary image to give kind of a different look to your bracelet. So the next thing that we'll want to do is take this over to our light tent and create a simple image of it on a white seamless backdrop. So let's get that set up. Now that we've done a couple of fun, colorful flat lays, let's also grab a quick image of our product just on a simple white backdrop. I know it's not quite as exciting as the flat lays, but it is always a good idea to just have an image of your item by itself. So that way it can really shine without any other distracting elements in your image. So what I'm using is a light tent. This is probably a little bit bigger than what we need for this small bracelet. So you can use something smaller at home. If you choose, if you don't want to build your own, you can absolutely buy a pre-made one. I've seen those out there available for purchase, and a lot of them are smaller and specifically made for jewelry. So they'll be a little smaller, a little easier to store, and a little easier for you to handle. But we went ahead and made our own. So here's what we used to create our light tent. We have just a simple roll of white seamless background paper. The sides are just made of foam core, and we have 2 layers of diffusion. So we've used ripstop nylon for this fabric, and that just helps to diffuse the light and soften it up a little bit as you know, before the light hits your subject. So our lighting is coming from above, and it is just a large softbox, just like the one that we used in the video. And we have that angled downward. When you're using a light tent, you do want your light to ideally come from the top, so that way when it's falling on your subject, it will also bounce around, and all of these reflective surfaces that are nice and bright and white will reflect that light back onto your subject, and it'll give you some nice highlights, eliminate some of those reflections for you, and it'll give it a really nice, soft, even, pretty flattering light. So let me get set up and we'll take a couple of images so that you can see it in action. So now we have our bracelet set up in the light tent and we're ready to shoot. Just try to place your item near the center of your light tent so that it'll get the most even lighting possible. And I've just went ahead and arranged it and made sure all of the charms are sitting nicely. Just take a couple of minutes and set that out. Now, and I already took care of my camera settings and my white balance, so we're all ready to go. So I'm focused up. I'm going to take our first image. And that looks pretty good right off the bat, but I think that we can do a little bit better to capture a little more sparkle in those gems and to bring a reflector in and kind of just make this lighting up in front even a little bit softer. So let's start with this little piece of foam core. So this will give us a nice soft white lighting. Just play with the angle and adjust it, find where you like it. I like it right about there. So I'll take a quick shot. Okay, that looks pretty good too. So that started to fill in some of those shadows up front. But I'd like to try one more thing. I'm gonna bring in this silver reflector, which might help me get a couple more sparkles in those highlights. So instead of bringing that down from below, I'm gonna bring it from above. There we go. I like the way that that's looking. That's capturing some nice highlights. So let's take another image. And that looks good. Just by using a couple of really simple light modifiers in addition to our light tent, we've been able to create some really soft, beautiful images of our bracelet. So you really don't need anything too crazy. You don't need a lot of fancy props or backgrounds to get started, and you can probably use things that you have around your house. So get creative, think outside of the box, and have a little fun with it.